What is up, WayHaught fans? I am Whitney Moore. We are here at Emerald City Comic Con. If you are tuning in, gosh, you guys, I am so happy to have you here. Of course, we have Dominique and Kat, and guys, you have an incredible fandom.
Right.
We do.
In writing my questions for this, I found so many message boards, and you guys have had such an impact on people, and I really want to know what that's like as actors and just as, people.
Wow.
Yeah.
Here we go. We haven't done one of these in a very long time. I'm feeling very rusty.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Firstly, it really is Waverly and Nicole that I would say have had such a huge impact. It's hard to kind of comprehend that we're the two actors that were lucky enough to be picked for these amazing characters, and really it's down to Emily Andras for creating such unbelievable female characters for us to play, I would say.
Yeah.
Well
said.
Thank you.
Yeah.
What else do we have to say, Kat?
Well, we've been really experiencing something pretty special with our fandom over the past few weeks with our Fight for Winona campaign.
Yes!
Yeah. Oh, amazing. There it is. And I think it's just been a beautiful reminder because we've been away for a little bit. The last time we kind of had a convention was in the fall. And it's been kind of an amazing kickstart to another season of doing cons, and just a wonderful reminder of why we do what we do and how amazing this community is, and a beautiful reminder that we have a big family all over the world who supports these characters and supports the show and supports each other. And it's I think we've experienced something very unique and rare with this show, and so it's just a wonderful reminder with Fight for Winona.
People have been fighting. I have been seeing the hashtags. I've been seeing people use a lot of different things as mustaches, which is one of my favorite things I see online. Real quick, what is the weirdest thing that you have tried to use as a mustache? Maybe didn't work.
Oh. The last one I did was with my dog's toy. And I've been doing, you probably don't know, I've been doing strange objects as mustaches. So we've been doing a little fun thing online with pictures.
Show me your stash.
Show me your stash, right? Well, that's the easy, always accessible one. And then leaves, various kitchen objects, twist ties, power cables, really just anything long and skinny.
It's such a fun idea. It's great.
As it was coming out of my mouth, I was like, first one of 2019, here it is. Go fish, yeah.
We love it. We love to see the support from the fans. It's so cool because we live in a time when you can see it in actuality happening on Twitter and everywhere else. And I think a big part of that is because this is the queer show of my dreams. I love you guys, and I love your relationship, and I think that it really serves the writers as well to avoid queer baiting on it, because it somehow feels so natural and so real. How do you think they do that, and how do you guys bring that to life as actors?
I think a big part of it was at the beginning, not rushing anything. I know that we were anxiously waiting for it to kind of come to fruition in season 1. But when we started to watch it back, I was like, no, it made so much sense to be patient and treat it with respect and just slowly but surely get these characters to the point where they come together. And yeah, it's all down to the writing, really, isn't it?
I would say, too, I think it's always been, we've never treated it as a queer relationship. It was just a relationship on the show from the beginning, and we talked a lot about that, but I feel that it was never treated any differently than the relationship with Dolls and Winona, or Doc and Winona, or any of the characters on the show. And I think that's why it resonated so much with people, is because everyone was on an equal playing field. And I think that's why it's been so well received. I think it's why it's being held up as a beacon of a beautiful example of a very positive queer relationship on TV right now. And I think that's a lot due to Emily and, like you said, her patience with the story. but just everyone on the show. It was just never treated any differently, or no, it was never a big deal. So
that is such a good point.
Yeah.
And that's so, so true. And as a result of that, you two have kind of become icons in the queer community, and that is a lot of responsibility and a lot, I mean, I can't imagine that's something that you expected. Can you talk about that a little bit? Go on.
Well, firstly, what a beautiful community to be a part of. And I just feel so proud every time we are surrounded by the most beautiful, open, warm, inclusive people. Just to be part of that family is an honor, really.
Yeah.
And yeah, I don't really know what else to say, but just, it's just an honor.
I love that. Now, you guys, above everything else that this show is, it's crazy. It has so much heart. It's so fun. Above everything else to me, this seems like it has been such a fun show to make. And I would love to know if there are any specific scenes that you guys really love to shoot, or anything that you were like, I cannot believe we are doing this.
Both, right? I mean, there's been so many times. I think the day we had, towards the end of season 3, we had a lot of, I mean, we talk about the weather all the time with this show, but we had a day where we were not jet skiing. What's the CD, the motorized vehicle on the snow? Snowmobile, thank you. We were snowmobiling our equipment in. So we had like, toboggans. My Canadian is really rusty right now. We had toboggans on the back of snowmobiles, and then as the cast, we would like get out of the car and get onto the snowmobile and go to set. And so everything was being snowmobiled in, and that was one of those days where I just thought, wow, I can't believe we're doing this. This is insane.
Such a cool job.
It's so cool. I mean, you really do feel, we go out to these amazing remote locations and you feel like untouched, that we would never get to see, and so much so that we can't even get our trucks and everything in there. And just to get these beautiful vistas that Calgary provides us with, we have to find other ways to get in there. And so those are the days where you really feel like, wow, and just our amazing crew that there's people there at 3 a.m. setting that up and laying all these cables and getting it all ready for the like 85 people that have to come later. And it's one thing to do that when you're working on the side of a road in the summer, and it's a completely other thing to do that in the middle of like the mountains in Calgary. So those are the days where just like the logistics of getting us where we need to be seems so insurmountable that I don't know how they handle it, and it amazes me.
I love that. And you could have very easily taken that question and taken it to any one of the absolutely insane scenes that you guys have gotten to play on this show. But I love the appreciation for the crew, and they're the ones that make it happen. That's lovely.
Yeah.
You are lovely. Wow. I'm so impressed by you guys. Okay, so I've been dodging around it a little bit, but season 3, we got to see something along the lines of a WayHaught proposal. And let's talk about that. I would love to hear about if you guys were writing it, if it were up to the two of you, what would a WayHaught wedding look like? Where would you honeymoon? Thank you.
I think, I feel like I've been speaking a lot. Do you want to take this one?
No, I'm quite happy to sit back and listen, to be honest. I'm like, oh, this is lovely. Thanks.
We were talking a little bit about, I think it would be very small and probably on the homestead.
Yeah, absolutely. With all of our closest people. Probably lots of fairy lights and candles that Waverley spent hours putting out, when you say. Flower arrangements made
in the
by
spring,
Waverley.
maybe.
That would be nice.
What time of year? Wouldn't that be nice? The
That would
spring.
be so lovely, wouldn't it? Yeah. And go on, Kat, you're really good at this.
Okay. And I think they would honeymoon somewhere like completely different from Purgatory. Maybe they go to like Bali.
Ooh, yes, please.
Yeah, that would be fun.
I'm down for that.
Let's go with Bali and stay in one of those really beautiful places on the stilts on the water. I've always wanted that. Where they have the glass floors, you can see the fish through them.
Oh, yeah.
That would
But
be
also, there's an element of magic there, of course, and
course.
something has to happen. Do it, come on, get on it. Bali episode. And I actually heard it mentioned that you guys had done an interview some time ago that you did several takes of the proposal. Can you tease a little bit what the other takes looked like, since we saw how it ended up? What were some of the alternates that you guys...
Yeah, I don't know. Are we? That's a great question. Are we allowed to talk about?
Yeah.
Yeah. Go. Yeah.
We filmed two different reactions to the proposal. One with a
very clear answer.
Very clear yes.
Yeah. And one that left it a little bit more ambiguous.
Which is the one they chose.
Which is one they chose.
I think, and I don't know why that was. I guess they hadn't made up their mind yet about which direction they wanted to take it in. But it was probably one of the funniest scenes we've ever shot, even if it was supposed to be the geese. Oh my goodness. There was a flock of geese that decided to arrive exactly at the moment where they were doing the entire time. And I was just staring into her eyes going, oh my God, this is ridiculous. Like,
And we were super rushed.
so rushed at the end of the day on a Friday. Okay, we've got 5 minutes to get this done, and it's going. We're like, oh my, is that a geese sound? I feel like that's not how like.
It's more gut low. There it is.
Really? Yeah.
Such a lovely sound to punctuate a romantic scene like that.
Exactly.
Truly, when I think romance, I think,
Bonking.
Yeah.
perfect. I love it. And thank you for the answer that really rode the line and said exactly what you could and nothing that you couldn't.
Yeah.
Appreciate you, and that means that I'm probably not going to get fired, too, for asking. So season 3 ended with Waverly getting stuck in the Garden of Eden. Crazy. How, if it were up to you guys, would you like to see that be resolved?
I don't know, man.
We would just like to see it be resolved. Please.
Great answer.
Please.
Great answer, and I won't press it because you know what? I'm an actor too. I'm like,
I would take anything
Working
at this
would be
point.
great.
Absolutely anything.
Exactly.
Yeah.
all right, I love it. I love it. Something that I really admire about the two of you and your social presence is that you guys have been so open about mental health and your day-to-day struggles, and it has provided such a connection with the fans. I think people really appreciate that. Can you speak to, was that something that you guys both as individuals set out to do and say, I want to give this a platform, or did it just come from a place of, I need to talk about this?
I think you probably, Kat, had much more of an incentive to do that from the
I
beginning.
had more of an incentive. I was going through a very hard time in my life and struggling a lot with a big bout of depression and anxiety. And I remember at the time thinking, I hope that one day, this is the thing, the universe is very specific. You ask for stuff, guys, I swear to God, it happens. It's so funny, but you put it out there, and I kind of had forgotten that. When I was going through that, I had made like a promise to myself that if and when I got through it, that I would do something good with what I had learned from my suffering. And I think, and then I kind of forgot about that. And this is way before Winona. And so when I had the opportunity to speak at the mental health conference, that there was an organization called the Green Ribbon Club, and I did a speech about depression and anxiety. And I was like, wow, it came back. That intention came back, and it was pretty magical and a good reminder to be very specific with what you ask for in life, because it does have a way of coming back to you. And so I'm really glad that it opened up a dialogue, and I think we are so much further along than we were even 5 years ago with how much we talk about mental health and how destigmatized it is, and we still have a long way to go, but I feel like I've watched like leaps and bounds with the way mental health is explored in the media and just like more openly talked about. So
I love
very
that.
happy, yeah.
You guys give such a voice and elevate the voices of other people, and that is so, so important, and I'm so appreciative to you both for doing that. Now, I don't get to interview two actresses very often, and so, hey, I would love to know, because something that you have mentioned before, Kat, is what it's like as an actor who is, you know, the day-to-day struggles and pushing forward and keeping going. I'm really interested in hearing about that.
Pushing forward as an actress.
Yeah.
Says the girl who's been in Brazil for 5 months traveling. Yeah, it's... Oh, God, this is going really well, and now the anxiety is kicking in. No, firstly, just going back onto the last question, I have been so incredibly inspired by all of the fans, which is part of the reason why I have been able to be much more vocal about my own struggles with anxiety, is because when you are met with a fandom that are so honest and open, it is so inspiring and has given me so much confidence in talking about my own personal experiences with all that. So a huge thank you, as ever, to this amazing fandom. But as an actress in this business, I think we've talked about this before, but I feel like we're extremely lucky that we are living through such a groundbreaking time as females in this business, and that we're starting to see a lot of changes, which is exciting. But I think that when I started in the business, there was so much stuff being fed into me, that things that you think you should want, things that you think you should be, ways that you think you should act, all of this stuff coming in constantly. And it really has been this journey for me personally of realizing who I am at my core, and being able to filter through all of that bullshit, and listening to your own truth and trying to find that, which is why I take time to go and reconnect with who I really am, and I think that that's been extremely important, and a big breath of fresh air to then be able to step forward and keep going and keep pushing forward in the right direction. What would you have to add to that, Kat?
Oh, man. I've had an interesting experience this year because I moved from Toronto to Los Angeles recently, and it's a hard shift because it's everywhere and you kind of can't get away from it when you live in Los Angeles, which I've had a bit of a hard time with. I think the most important thing for me has and will continue to be making my own opportunities. I'm not very good at the waiting game, and I hate that so much of being an actor has to do with other people's opinions of you. It really bothers me. So for me, like, I get my sanity from making my own work, and I'm super passionate about that. And I find as I get more and more into this industry, I'm getting pulled more to that other side of the camera, which is really exciting and really scary for me too, because then it brings up all these other fears of not being good enough and not being smart enough and all these things that we've talked about.
Which is ridiculous.
But it is important, I think, no matter what you do, to find your power in it. And I think that has been a way for me to feel like I had some control, but I also had a way to express myself that wasn't dependent on other people's opinions of me. And I think that has, for many, many, many years, kept me sane and happy.
By the way, you guys, this is excellent advice, not just if you're an actor, but finding your truth and figuring out who you are and sticking to it, creating opportunities for yourself. No matter what you do, listen to them, because it's true. It's so true. And speaking of creating your own opportunity, as well as a great segue, Kat, you just released a trailer for your short Pooch that you directed and starred in. Please tell me about that.
I was in it, but I'm hoping basically to direct it. So it's a trailer. It's a pitch for my team to get some money for our lovely comedy about a dog walker, but it's really about the people who he works for and all his crazy clientele. So yeah, we're just go and check out Pooch the series if you can. It would help me so much. It's on my Instagram. Just go watch the trailer like a few times. It means a lot to me that people have come up to me this weekend because it's, you know, sometimes you wonder if anyone's noticing anything outside of doing Winona. Because I spend a lot of my time, and Winona is such a small fraction of the year, and I spend a lot of my time trying to make other stuff happen and pitch other show ideas. And I'm starting school. I'm starting a directing program when I go back home, so I'm really excited for that. So it's like just trying to do other stuff, but I really appreciate the support. I'm so passionate about women behind the camera, and especially working on Winona, it has shown me how much we desperately need it, because so many of the ideas for stories start at the top with the producers and the directors and writers, and we desperately need diversity behind the camera. And so I'm very excited to play, you know, do my small part of that. So thank you for doing that shout out for my little web series. I really appreciate that.
It's so inspiring, by the way, continuing your education and continuing to learn, because there is no end to what you can do if you're in a learning mentality. How can we as the fans support Pooch besides just watching it? Is there a hashtag going around or something?
Yeah, that's basically it right now. So just right now, we just need a lot of YouTube views and a lot of comments, very specifically on the YouTube.
Yeah.
And then it really comes down to how well I wrote my marketing plan. So we'll see about that. But thank you for that. It's like 2 minutes of your life, and you can turn it off after 1:30. So,
and it's great.
Yeah. It's really cute. So.
Well, we've got a couple minutes left. I would love to play a little dice game with you guys because wow, we flew through all my questions. So what we're gonna do is either one of you can roll for the question. There is a number associated with it, and we can have some fun that way.
Da-da-da. This is a cool dice. Wow.
Yeah. Stop stalling.
4.
4. If you could somehow talk to your younger self, what would you tell them if you wanted to totally blow their mind?
Whoa. Does it have to be a true thing? I would probably go and lie.
I don't see any rules on this.
I would probably give her a glimpse into what I'm doing right now, and say, one day all of those little things that you thought would never happen might come true. Yeah, and that would be kind of nice to say to her.
Oh, yeah. Kat, how about you?
Oh shoot! I thought I was getting away. I was like, haha, that's
absolutely
a hard question.
Not.
I think I would tell her that the world is going to be changing to accommodate who you desperately want to be in it, and that you will be allowed to be powerful, strong, and opinionated. All the things that you are being chastised for right now will be celebrated.
I think we can relate to that. A couple nerds in the house. Yeah. You guys are so incredibly...
Play again.
I know, but we can play backstage.
Again, though,
it's cool.
Fine. We already answered that.
You guys are so incredibly gracious and talented. We love you so much. WayHaught lives on in our hearts. Thank you so, so, so much for being here.
Fight for Winona!
All right, you guys do not go anywhere, because next up we're talking about these Stranger Things comics. We have so, so much awesome stuff coming at you, so keep your eyes glued onto SYFY Wire. I need a nap. All right, thanks guys.